अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ नमो भगवते श्रीरामकृष्णाय। Dear brother Swami Vimokshananda ji, dear devotees and my dear children, this evening is a very happy evening, so Merry Christmas to every one of you. This week itself and then till 6th January, we will be thinking of Christ who has come into this world to raise us to a different level. When we think of this Christmas, you know, I'm from India, and in India, Christmas is a very big festival. Irrespective of whatever religion you follow, and particularly in Calcutta, I have seen that everywhere Christmas decoration is on. And nearly about a month before the decorations start, and people are very in a joyous mood. And of course there are holidays. I'll just tell you, in the Ramakrishna tradition, in our order was established by one great leader in spiritual world, Swami Vimokshananda. Vivekananda was the first Hindu yogi to visit a foreign land, that is USA. There he preached the message of Vedanta. So he was a young boy, hardly 16, 17-year-old. And then there are other boys of his friends of that age or a little younger age. All these boys, about 16 boys, used to visit Sri Ramakrishna. You find the central place, we have got a photo, and that is Sri Ramakrishna. So Ramakrishna was a saint. So these boys used to go to him and sit under his feet and learn many things. And then on 16th August 1886, Sri Ramakrishna passed away. So the boys were simply could not know what to do next, because Sri Ramakrishna had trained them to become monks, not householders. Now all these boys decided we have to become monks, but how to do and where to go and stay and what to do. So they were all wondering. And the other person you will find in the right side to Ramakrishna, Swami Vivekananda. Vivekananda was, that is, he was a young boy at that time, hardly 18 years. And he was given charge to look after the other boys. And then about 6 or 7 boys were wandering. The rest of the boys went back to their homes. And they are all either studying or employed like that. But these 6 boys, they did not go back home. They were all sitting and they were all wondering what to do now. At that time, one of the boys, his name was Baburam. Baburam's mother came and saw these boys, and they were all sitting and they didn't know what to do. She said, "Come to my village. I will feed you there, and then you engage in your spiritual practice. Day and night you can sing, you can meditate, you can do whatever you want, and feeding is my responsibility. So come all of you." She invited. So these boys, headed by Vivekananda, they went. And in that village, such a beautiful village it was, and they all looked around and they said, "What a beautiful village it is. This is the best place to think of God." You know, when you go into nature, actually our mind is drawn to higher level of consciousness. Today morning, I went to Glendalough with a few devotees who came from South Africa. And you know, that place itself raises your mind to a higher level. It's not like that when you go to a place that your mind becomes very melancholic. It's not like that. The mind becomes joyful. and it forgets all its worries. And you see such a beautiful lakes, twin lakes there, and then the mountains range, and in between there is you can find a waterfall. And we stood in the center place, and they have actually put one small wooden, what do you call, a plank like that, and it's written there, this is central place for photography. So people go there and then put their camera and then take photos also. It's a beautiful place. And when you see such a beauty, external beauty, naturally, mind becomes quieter. That's why people go for pilgrimage. When you go for pilgrimage, you go into the nature and look around you. And this time, this winter, first time I went, I had gone there in winter time. All the lower creepers and trees and plants of this size, they were all brownish color, because the leaves are all dry. Not one you can find a green leaf. Everything was brown, all around. And then higher ups you find some little green. So it is such a beautiful, I took a lot of photographs also. So now you see why we should go to a place like that, because our mind is full of worries. Mind is full of concerns. And if you want to forget them and want to have a peace of mind, then you should go and sit in the nature. That is what these boys did. The boys went to that village, and the village was so beautiful. It had ponds, it had beautiful coconut trees, and also big trees, banyan trees. So they went round and they were very happy. And they started doing meditation. Sometimes hours together they would sit and meditate. Hours together. And the lady would come, that is Baburam's mother would come and said, hey boys, get up, get up. Now the time for food, get up. Like that she would come, and then she would feed them. So the boys were very happy. One day, after the meditation, they sat for meditation in the evening hours, and they did bhajans. Bhajans means singing of songs. As we sang now, this is called bhajan. When you sing a beautiful song and your mind goes to the thinking of God, it means bhajan. So these boys were singing songs one after another. And then the time went on, and meditation, they were deeply immersed. And suddenly, at midnight, Swami Vivekananda rose. And then he looked at the brothers. All the brothers were sitting. Because it was winter time, December is the winter time in India also. So what they did was, they have put wooden logs and lit it. So the wooden logs were giving flames. And flames are always this color, ochre color. Seeing the ochre color of the flames and raising flames and all the boys standing there, Swami Vivekananda was moved, and he started speaking about what this ochre color represents. Ochre color represents this tyaga or renunciation. That is the word we use in English, renunciation. It's a big word, of course. It's a small word in Hindi, is tyaga. So this renunciation, he started speaking about that. And he says that why the monks in India wear this ochre robe. He explained that. And then he started telling that these ochre robes represent the burning of all the desires in mind. So this is only meant for the monks, this color. So that is how he explained. And when he started speaking about burning of all the desires, suddenly he went on to speak about one of the greatest men of the world who has come from God as a God's son, about Jesus the Christ. So he was moved by Jesus, and then he started talking about Jesus the Christ. And he started telling how Jesus' life was an extremely exemplary example of the renunciation. You have never seen earlier such a wonderful renunciation. And he started speaking about Jesus' life. And Jesus, from the childhood onwards when he came as an elderly person, and then till his final crucifixion, and then coming after that, all those things he started speaking, and one by one he started speaking very highly about the renunciation factor. He found Jesus was a person who had no attachment in the world. This young boy started speaking about Jesus, and he was moved by the Jesus life and the stories that are surrounding him. So he started telling the other boys, look, we have the thought of Jesus today, and the fire is before us, and why not we all take an oath before the fire? So all the boys stood around the fire, and they took the oath that we shall remain for our life a lifelong celibacy. So they took the oath on that day. It's called Naishtika Brahmachari. That is the lifelong celibacy. Come what may, we shall not deviate from this line. We shall be celibates all through the life. So all the boys took the oath on that day. And then they sat for meditation. And it became 3 o'clock in the night. And the lady is sitting there, that the boys will come after meditation so that she can feed them. On the night past, it's 12 o'clock past, 1 o'clock past, 3 o'clock past. Then Bavaram's mother came running to that place, and she found all the boys are sitting there, and they fully merged in meditation. Then by about 4 o'clock, each of them got up. Then she said, the time has come for breakfast perhaps, not the dinner. Come, like that. She took all of them inside. And then she told, do you know what you are doing? Then the boys were telling, our leader, that boy, Swami Vivekananda, he spoke very highly about Jesus Christ. And he told how Jesus was the king of renunciates and what renunciation he had in his life. Like that, the boys were praising Vivekananda's words. And the mother said, smiled. She said, do you know what is the day today? They don't know even dates. She said, yesterday was the 24th December and today is the 25th December. So it's called Christmas Eve. 24th December is called Christmas Eve. That means one day before evening, 24th evening. So it's called Eve. So that Christmas Eve midnight, Swami Vivekananda inspired the other boys and made them think of the wonderful renunciation of Jesus Christ. That's why this day, that is 24th December, is a very important day in our life. In Ranchi, when I was there, in India, in one of the places, Ranchi, I was there, we had 12 monks. Here we have only 2 monks. But when it becomes growing, we may have more monks here. And 12 monks we had. We used to sit on 24th December, and we used to make a pile of wood, and then we burn that wood, and then we all would sit around and we would meditate. It will go up to 1 o'clock, 1:30 like that. It will go. And the festival part, we have lots of cakes and biscuits and whatnot, and then we distribute to the poor people. And about 300 to 350 people used to come on that day, evening. So we used to distribute all these things to the people. And people are also very happy. And then of course decoration, light decoration. You can't imagine how beautiful light decorations we used to do. So with all the fanfare of these decorations, what we need to understand today, because as if we are doing on 24th December, today we are celebrating, because it is a Sunday, and perhaps 24th and 25th, you all will be very busy going to this church, that church, etc. So we thought of having the choral singing that today. That's why I made the arrangement. So we welcome every one of you heartily, and let us enjoy the program and go home, taking back with us the wonderful renunciation of Jesus Christ. Thank you very much. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.